Science of Aushadha, Advaita and Bhakti Yoga, Paramashiva Jnana and Paramashiva Vijnana. So how do we awaken the divine Shaktis in us? Every ultimate truth, jnana, mapped into your consciousness, prajna, manifests as the possibility and power of every being, prajnana. Science of our manifestation is authenticated through 4 levels of evidences, otherwise known as pramanas. The first is the Shastra Pramana, which is the eternal unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures of Hinduism. The next is the Apta Pramana, which are the experiences and results of the Aptas or authorities of Hinduism, the Vedic rishis and scientists who have time tested and verified this science. The next is the Atma Pramana, which is the personal account of this millennium's avatar, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashiva, his personal experience of power manifestation. And last is the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the empirical evidence from observation and scientific experimentation. Vedagamas is a living applied science. Vedas are the ultimate superior authority for Hindus. Vedas are pure science where the ultimate truths are explained. Agamas are the scriptures where the applied technology, the applied science is expanded upon. Vedas and Agamas, the Vedagamas are given the status of Shruti as they are directly revealed by Paramashiva. They are the ultimate, eternal, unchangeable truths. A reference cited from the Shastras or source scriptures is called the Shastra Pramana. Let us now get ready to witness a very unique and exciting demonstration of the power of third eye. Here we have the Shastra Pramana, which is a scriptural reference to manifest the power of third eye. Kapalantarmanonyasya tishthanmilita lochanaha kramena manaso dardyad lakshayed lakshamuttamam. By fixing the mind on the inner space within the crown center and sitting stably without any movement, having the eyes closed in succession, by that stability of the mind and inner space, through the power of the third eye, one directly sees the ultimate goal, Lakshyam, by having the vision beyond the sight that reveals any object or place, attaining the space of oneness with the source, Paramashiva. Here you have the Apta Pramana, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna initiates Arjuna into the power of third eye. Tato mam shakyased drishtum anenaiva swachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogamaishwaram. Bhagavan Krishna says to Arjuna, but you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore, I grant you the divine third eye vision. Behold my cosmic opulence. In the Hindu Purana Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna initiates Arjuna into the power of third eye. Behold Krishna's Vishrupa Darshan, the vision of his cosmic form. The 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita contains the description of Bhagavan Krishna's cosmic form, which is completely narrated by Arjuna as he sees Bhagavan Krishna through his third eye. Here we have the Atma Praman, where in Swami's own words, he describes his third eye experience. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree, 10 directions, below me, everything. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience all of that as me. Here we have the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the empirical evidence from observation and scientific experimentation. Study measures and compares the metabolic cell activity of the brain in conscious and meditative open of third eye states using positron emission tomography, otherwise known as PET. When doing daily activities, high activity is measured in the brain where the third eye is located. When in deep samadhi states, only the third eye region is active and almost 90% of the brain is at peace. Here you have the Sakshi Pramana, which are the experiences and results of the extraordinary manifestation happening through the initiated disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. This rare, sacred science of third eye awakening is being made available to humanity for the ultimate enrichment and conscious evolution by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashiva. As the living incarnation of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism embodies the most profound yogic states that surpass all bounds of time, space, and matter. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is gifting this pure, great science of third eye awakening, along with many other spiritual sciences, through initiation, Diksha, where millions of people have been initiated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and are experiencing the profound results as extraordinary powers in their everyday life. With this, we're now going to be moving into the power demonstration of the power of third eye. Joining us today will be Srinitya Sundareshananda Maharaj and Srinitya Shivashankarananda Maharaj, who will be taking the power demonstration for us. Please stay tuned as we get ready and witness this extraordinary demonstration.
Just like Radhika, when I see my own sweetness in the mirror, I become eager to taste it. I find that the only way to relish this sweetness is through the constitution of Sri Radhika.
Bhava Samadhi Darshan is a window to the infinite expanse of consciousness, allowing us to glimpse the formless in a way that we can understand. It cleanses the karmas of lifetimes. It awakens our biomemory to the space of Paramashiva, the ultimate consciousness, and creates a deep and lasting transformation in us.
One or two times have Ganapati Darshan, Venkateshwara Bhava Samadhi Darshan, Devi Bhava Samadhi Darshan. By third time, fourth time, you will see every prayer you are asking those beings, Ganapati or Venkateshwara or Subramanya or Parashakti. Simply those prayers become reality, and the relationship between you and that cosmic beings built. I tell you, each Bhava Samadhi Darshan is a spiritual treat, enjoy. Spiritual feast, enjoy. Don't miss it. Never miss a Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Enjoy Paramashivoham, which is introducing and making you cognize the cosmic principles and cosmic beings. The state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. There are some great spiritual sciences unique to Hinduism. Subtle, otherworldly, but definitive sign. Manifesting the cosmic beings in Archavatara, deities in Nijavatara, living incarnations is possible. Understand? Kriya Pada of Veda.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mangala Maharaj, for introducing me and having me part of today's Bhava Samadhi Darshan. And I want to welcome all the viewers once again for watching us live on the Nityananda TV, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and the two-way video conferencing on Zoom and various other platforms who are witnessing live Bhava Samadhi Darshan preparation of Bhagavan Lingodbhava. Today we are all blessed on this auspicious day of Pradosham to have the very experience that Paramashiva himself gave Brahma and Vishnu. We'll be looking at the deeper insights behind the happening of Lingodbhava in the further parts of the segment today. Now, let us witness a very beautiful power demonstration. Joining us today, we have Srinitya Shivashankarananda Maharaj and Srinitya Satyananda Maharaj, Balasans from the Nityananda Gurukul. Shivashankara Maharaj has been in the Nityananda Gurukul over the last 6 years, and he's one of the very powerful power manifestors, has been on world tour twice, demonstrating, manifesting, and expressing these great powers of Paramashiva that is revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and initiated, and is also a powerful Akashic reader. So today, he'll be demonstrating this power of third eye for all of us. Nityananda Shivashankara Maharaj, please go ahead, introduce yourself, and you can also introduce what we're going to be doing today.
Nityananda Maharaj, thank you. So in today's demonstration, power demonstration of manifesting the power of third eye, before entering into the demonstration, I'm just going to explain what we're going to do and the steps what we're going to manifest the power. So as you can see in my hand, this is the mindfold which I'm going to be wearing upon. This mindfold is completely tested by the ophthalmologist, where it is proven where the no light, visibility of light which is passing through it. And behind it is the foam, the sponge, where you can see where when I wear this, the comfortability of my eyes will be locked into this to the two holes, and the adjustable strap which is there surrounded, so I can adjust it accordingly and wear this mindfold. So when I blindfold myself with this mindfold, I'll be completely put into the darkness where there'll be no light or colors which are seen. So this is the mindfold which Satyananda Maharaj is going to put upon me. And you can see on the box there are few cards. There are more than 50 cards of Swamiji's cards, where a few of his powerful conditions from the aspect of comparison, guilt, fear, pain, powerlessness, powerfulness, completion, and many more. So there are few more than 50 cards there, and Maharaj is going to shuffle. He's going to shuffle the cards, and the power manifestor coordinator who is coordinating for this power manifestation and Bhava Samadhi Darshan, when he tells to stop, immediately the shuffling will get stopped, and whatever card is there kept in the first, I'll be taking the card, and with my eyes completely blindfolded, I'll be reading out either the color, the heading, and what the powerful condition written, and whatever powerful condition Swamiji gives in that card. So that's going to be the game for today, with my eyes completely blindfolded, where he's going to shuffle it, and I'll be reading it out, the powerful condition for the day. So this is the power demonstration of third day, where we're going to experience by the grace of Swamiji by chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nityananda Paramashivoham, invoking him for manifesting this power.
Yes, thank you very much, Maharaj. That was beautifully explained. Now we are going to be witnessing Shivashankara Maharaj being put on, strapped with the blindfold that he described about. As you all can see, it has got the adjustable strap that ensures that the blindfold is tight fit. As Shivashankara Maharaj explained, the outer layer is made of a thick, opaque plastic sheet which is dark black in color, layered internally with about an inch of thick foam, with grooves where the eyes would perfectly fit in, and ensuring that there's perfect comfort, and at the same time there's complete opacity. There's no visibility of any light in it. This has been clinically tested and has been certified by various ophthalmologists, certifying that there is absolutely no way that any light can penetrate into this. So as Shivashankara Maharaj had described, there are various different cards, about 50 different cards with various powerful cognitions that are placed. And now Satyananda Maharaj will be taking it and he'll be shuffling the cards. And I'll be randomly taking the time to tell him to stop shuffling while Shiva Shankara Maharaj will then pick the card which is there on the top and read out what is the powerful cognition that is there. So we are saying Satyananda Maharaj continuing to shuffle. Yes, you can stop, Maharaj. There we go. So now Shiva Shankara Maharaj will be picking this up and reading and describing it. Please go ahead, Maharaj.
So the card, which is in red in color, it's written pain in the heading, and the powerful cognition is focus it.
Yes. So as we can see, that's exactly the same thing that has been written. It's the red in color with the powerful cognition, focus. Wonderful. Now we're going to be taking on a few more rounds. And those of the volunteers and participants who are watching us live on the YouTube can also go over and drop your comment when you want Satyananda Maharaj to stop. And we'll be taking it live, and Satyananda Maharaj will stop shuffling the cards at that time. So while you take your time to do it, I'll go for another round. Yes. You can stop shuffling, Maharaj. Okay. So as we can see, continuously the cards are being shuffled. And
Again,
there's
the same thing, which is written the red, pain, and focus it.
Yes. So go ahead, Maharaj. Once again, go ahead and shuffle it. And while the shuffling is going on, I'd like to invite the viewers who are watching us live to actually comment when you want Satyananda Maharaj to stop, and be stopping it at that time for Shiva Shankara Maharaj to read. And we'll also be playing the Mahavakya, Om Nityananda Paramashivoham, which is the base through which the entire power manifestation happens. Yes, as we can see, continuous shuffling happening. Okay, so there we have Srinivas B. Kulkarni telling to stop. Yes. So now we are picking the card that Srinivas had asked us to stop, and now we are looking at that.
So it's written, which is in brown in color, gratitude opposed to.
Yes, exactly. That is right. Okay. So now we're going to be once again doing another round. We have many people who are coming up and wanting to actually share, asking to stop. So I'm going to be projecting the screen. So the shuffling has started. And yes, so now the first question, whoever is going to be putting to stop will be reading out the card, reading out the name as well. Okay, so there we have Vil Sharma asking to stop. Yes, Satyananda Maharaj, please stop and let us read the card that Vil Sharma asked us to read. Please go ahead, Maharaj.
It's purple in color. It's written compare and attention.
Okay, that's great. So as we saw, Shiva Shankara Maharaj once again exactly read it out as it is. So go ahead. We'll have one more round as there are so many people who are wanting to participate in this. So time starts now. Go ahead, start shuffling. And those participants whose name I'm taking out and reading, you can also confirm if whatever Shiva Shankara Maharaj stopped and read was exactly right. So Vitish Sharmaya. Yes. So go ahead. Any of you who want to participate in this, the shuffling is still going on. And any time that you tell us to stop, we'll be stopping it and reading out. So there we have Prashant's lifestyle asking to stop. Yes, Satyananda Maharaj, you can stop. And now we are choosing the card that has been chosen by Prashant's lifestyle. Please go ahead.
So
and Shiva Shankara Maharaj, you can read it out.
It's the red color card. It's written worry, judge people or situation.
Yes. So Prashant, you can actually confirm that it is right. Wonderful. Okay. So we have a participant asking to actually read the whole card, front and the back. So back side, Shiva Shankara Maharaj, you can show.
Yes, the back is Swamiji's Jivan Mukti photo where he is wearing a turban and it's completely orange in color. It's similar for all 50 cards with the same photographs, and the powerful conditions only differs in each and every single cards.
Yes. Thank you very much, Maharaj. And we just witnessed an extraordinary power manifestation. I know a lot of us who are continuously commenting for stopping and actually participating in this, but due to time constraints and restrictions in time, we'll have to be now moving on to the next segment of the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. I thank Shivashankara Maharaj and Satyananda Maharaj for joining us in the power manifestation today and manifesting this extraordinary powers of Paramashiva and demonstrating it to all of us. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for joining us in this power manifestation. Yes, Nityanam everybody, welcome back. And we just witnessed a beautiful segment of experiencing the power manifestation, witnessing the power manifestation. The very reason why we would like to demonstrate these Shaktis is just to show the extraordinary possibility that exists in each and every one of us. And all of us also will be able to manifest all of these powers of third eye after the initiation and the darshan of our beloved Swamiji. So I request every one of you who are watching us live to participate in everything, in all the different segments, in all the different programs that will be happening, and make sure that you receive and participate so that you prepare yourself completely to receive the utmost experience from the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Lingodbhava today. So now we're going to be entering into the next segment of understanding about the Arunachala Puranam and the very happening of Bhagavan Lingodbhava. So this is a very beautiful and interesting happening that is there. So I request every one of you to please come to the space of listening and listen carefully. Lingodbhava. Paramashiva manifested as a Deepa Stamba, the Jyoti Stamba, to Brahma, to Vishnu, liberating them from delusion as to who is more powerful or important amongst them. Brahma and Vishnu had a fight. Who is bigger? Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the sustainer. The words in their fight got too much because creation and sustenance was fighting. There was a big chaos and stagnancy in the cosmos. Then Paramashiva had to intervene. He appears as a light shaft and tells them, whoever finds my head or feet first is the most powerful person. So this is a beautiful Leela that Paramashiva plays and manifests, does just to show each and every one of us in our life that the ultimate is Paramashiva. In each and every one of our life, there are two parts. The creation, at the same time the sustenance. Most of the time, we get into the fight, as we are seeing, where when Brahma, who is the Lord of creation, and Vishnu, who is the Lord of sustenance, when both of them had an ego clash as to who is more powerful, Paramashiva comes down to say that both of them are deluded, and none of that is the ultimate. It is only the experience of Paramashivoham which is the ultimate. So this is the beautiful Leela that we are looking at today. So now Paramashiva tells Brahma and Vishnu, whoever finds my head or feet first is the most powerful person. Let us now see who chooses to go to the head and who chooses to go to the feet. Immediately Brahma takes the form of a swan and he starts flying upwards. He says, I will go and find your head. Vishnu, on the other hand, takes the form of a pig, the Varaha, saying, I will go and find your feet. But both of them are not able to find either the head or the feet. Vishnu accepts that he is not able to find, but Brahma, not only that he was not able to accept and not able to find the head, he was not able to even accept it. This, you can see that it's completely a different way. Brahma is the creator. He is the creation principle. He was created and manifested from the creation principle of Paramashiva. From Paramashiva's 5 heads, from one of the heads came out Brahma. But Brahma, when he started becoming deluded, he fell into ego and powerlessness. Same way Vishnu. He was manifested for maintenance and sustenance. Vishnu and Brahma are attention drawing colorful actions, but they delude themselves that they both are the ultimate. Between them, they start fighting as to who is greater. And it is Brahma who represents knowledge, Vishnu who represents wealth. Knowledge is required for creation and wealth is required for sustenance. But both of them forget that both of them were manifested out of the compassion of Paramashiva. It is Paramashiva who blessed them with the experience, with the power to create and to sustain. When they get deluded, it is once again time for Paramashiva to intervene and to give them the liberation. And that is exactly what happens. Now that Brahma goes up to the head and Vishnu goes down to the feet, both of them are not able to find the head or the feet. And while this was happening, both of them start feeling that they are ultimate. And the next level of delusion, which is what began, where they started fighting with each other. So naturally, it is Paramashiva who has to liberate them. And neither creation nor sustenance is the ultimate. It is liberation that is the ultimate. And that is the reason Paramashiva plays this beautiful Leela to pull them out of delusion and liberate them. When the moment Paramashiva appears as a Jyotirlinga and he tells Brahma and Vishnu, whoever finds my head or feet will be declared as a winner, Brahma becomes a swan and flies towards the head. But if you look at the other way, the swan always lives in the lotus. So he should have actually gone down to find the lotus feet of Paramashiva. But it does the other way. On the other hand, that we saw, Vishnu took the form of a pig. Pig always lives in the forest. So he should have actually taken the decision to go towards Paramashiva's Jatas, which is a forest. But again, whenever we are deluded, we do not have the intelligence to make the right decision in our life. When we start thinking that it is wealth or knowledge that is the ultimate, we delude ourselves and we lose the intelligence to actually happen to create life the way we want. At the end, after a long time, both of them could not find the end. Vishnu goes on digging and digging and digging, and even then he reaches only up to the calf muscle of Paramashiva. And to mark that, he ties a bell on Paramashiva's calf muscles. And that is why, if you see even till date, in all Shiva deities, there will be a bell that will be tied on Shiva's calf muscles. Those are the bell, that is the bell that is tied by Bhagavan Vishnu himself. But Brahma, as he takes the form of swan and flies, his entire age is almost over. His lifetime itself is almost over. Suddenly on the way, he finds a flower fallen from the head of Paramashiva. He realizes that he cannot find the head of Paramashiva. But when he looks at this flower, he asks the flower, where are you coming from? The flower says, I'm falling from Shiva's ears. Brahma becomes curious and he asks, since when are you falling? The flower says, 4 Brahma's ages, which means the 4 Brahma Kalpas, where literally 4 times the age of Brahma, and he has still only been falling from the ear, forget even the head. It's only from the ear of Brahma that the flower has been, ear of Paramashiva, that the flower has been falling. Now, Brahma is not ready to accept defeat because knowledge always has ego. Brahma, who represents knowledge, Ask that flower. Cunningness enters in. Can you support me by saying that I brought you from the head of Paramashiva and I'll give you a lot of boons? The flower got a little tempted and he felt, okay, what is there? It's Brahma after all who is asking me. Fine. And he accepts it. Brahma later goes down back to Paramashiva and lies to Paramashiva, saying, I found your head and this is the witness, showing the flower. The moment Paramashiva saw both of them, he just gave one stare through the third eye, and both the flower and Brahma's swan, as a swan, wither away. The swan's feathers are burnt and the flower dries and falls. People who think that they can cheat Paramashiva are the final losers in their life, because they do not understand that Paramashiva is the all-knower. And this happens when knowledge takes over people. When people think that intellectual knowledge is more powerful, they think they are equivalent to Paramashiva and destroy their life, and are not ready to accept the powerlessness, the incompletions, and the ego, and do not accept defeat, which puts them into even bigger delusion. Brahma then gets the curse that he will never be worshipped anymore, and flower gets the curse that will never be used in Shiva Puja. Understand, Brahma, who was created from the very existence of Paramashiva, gets the curse that he'll never be worshipped, and the flower, who got the opportunity to always be on the ears of Paramashiva, gets the curse that he can never be used in Shiva Puja. Finally, Brahma does tapas and asks for forgiveness. Paramashiva has eternal compassion. He says, okay, you will be there in all my temples, facing the north, where my sacred bath water will come through the Gomukha. And from that water, you can use it for the creation. Same way, the flower was also given the Shapa Vimochana, that once a year, just on the day of Shivaratri alone, the flower will be used for Shiva Puja and not on any other time. Even till now in Tiruvannamalai, Lingodbhava Murti will be worshipped with the Tarampu, which is the name of the flower that fell off the ears of Paramashiva only on Shivaratri day. You need to understand the deeper and deeper layers of meaning. The knowledge and wealth cannot show you the ultimate, and it is not the ultimate. It is enlightenment alone which is the ultimate. Now, we're going to listen from Swamiji himself about Bhagavan Lingodbhava. Stay tuned for watching a beautiful video where Swamiji describes and reveals about Bhagavan Lingodbhava.
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. This is a beautiful moment. The auspicious Lingodbhava time, the time in which Mahadeva, Shiva, appeared in front of Vishnu and Brahma, gave darshan to both of them and removed their ego, blessed both of them and gave them the ultimate truth. This is the same moment same time the Ardha Jama. This is the same time Vishnu and Brahma experienced Mahadeva in the formless form, the cosmic consciousness. As a light beam, the pure consciousness. We need to understand the story a little deeply. Brahma is the representation of intellect, Saraswati's husband. Vishnu is the representation of money, Lakshmi's husband. Through this story, Brahma and Vishnu is not able to find Mahadeva, Shiva. An important truth is revealed. Money and intellect cannot find enlightenment. But many times the money and intellect starts fighting between them. Who is great? From time immemorial, intellectuals and politicians were fighting. From time immemorial, people with wealth and people with intellect are constantly fighting. That fight is only represented through this story. That fight is only presented through this story. The Brahma and Vishnu started fighting. Who is big guy? Who is a great guy? Whether intellect or money. The problem is both of them don't understand an important fact. Both of them can't lead you to the ultimate truth or the ultimate happiness. If you know the story of Brahma and Vishnu seeking the Shiva's feet and the head, you will understand what I am saying. It's a beautiful story with a tremendous metaphysical meaning in it. The great intelligence we need to understand this story little deeply. Only then the true meaning of the story will be revealed to our being. The true meaning of the story will be understood. The story says Brahma and Vishnu were fighting with each other, trying to find who is big guy. Then suddenly Shiva appeared. Shiva said, "Any one of you try to find my feet or head. Whoever finds my feet or head will be declared as the greatest person." And Brahma tries to find the head. Vishnu tries to find the feet. Unfortunately, not only they were not able to find, they realized nobody can find. Vishnu, the moment he realized, he surrendered, and Shiva blessed him. Just because Vishnu surrendered, Shiva blessed him with enlightenment and the truth. Brahma, even though he was not able to find, does not want to surrender, doesn't want to agree that he can't find. So he tries to find some false witness, a flower which was in the Shiva's head. He tried to bring that flower as a witness. The flower was falling from Shiva's head for ages. And Brahma tried to catch that flower and made that flower as a duplicate witness, false witness. But Shiva knows the truth and he curses not only Brahma, the flower too. And finally Brahma realizes the truth and surrenders. When the moment Brahma surrendered, Shiva reveals the truth to him also. Very beautiful story. The deep significance. As I was telling, Brahma represents intellect. Vishnu represents money. Both of them constantly fight. Who's a big guy? Intellect and money. When they are fighting, suddenly the truth stands in front of them. The life. Continuously, the intellect and money is fighting. Our ordinary life is nothing but the fight between intellect and money. Suddenly, truth stands in front of us and tells the money and intellect, try to find my head or feet. Neither money nor intellect can find the beginning or end of life. Beginning or end of life cannot be controlled by intellect or money. Not only it cannot be controlled, it can't be altered, changed. When you can't do anything with your beginning and end, then you can't do anything in between also. Life is life. But neither the intellect nor the money is ready to surrender. Intellect tries to find the head. Brahma goes in the form of swan to find the head. Vishnu goes in the form of pig to find the feet. Both of them are trying their best. Vishnu goes. For ages he is digging. Finally he realizes the truth. He won't be successful. At one point, he just wants to mark the spot to which extent he travelled. He ties a bell. Still in all Shiva's murtis, Shiva's idols, you will see a bell near the calf. Near the calf muscle, you will see a bell that is tied by Vishnu. Vishnu was able to travel only to that distance. Whether in Nataraja or Dakshinamurti, in all Shiva Murtis, you will see that bell. Vishnu tried, he understood, he realized he can't see, he can't achieve, he can't get the truth. One important thing, truth is revealed in this. When you run behind the money to achieve the eternal happiness, Nityananda, at one point you will realize the money can't give you that. That is what is meant by this line, by this story. Vishnu realizes he can't achieve, he can't find, he surrenders. If you travel, if you try to find true money, you will realize at one point it can't be achieved. You will surrender. The moment Vishnu surrendered, Shiva revealed the truth and gave him the ultimate experience. But Brahma, intellect, cannot surrender. That is the biggest problem. If you travel in the path of intellect and try to find the truth, not only you won't find, the big difficulty will be you will not be even having that humbleness to accept that you will not find or you have not found. You will not have that humbleness. You will not be able to surrender. You will not be able to relax. You will not be able to say that you have not found. Not only you won't be able to say you have not found, you will try to bring all false witnesses. Brahma, not only he was not able to find, he can't accept that he did not find. So he brings false witness, the flower which was near the head of Shiva and which was falling for ages. He actually caught the flower and asked, the Brahma asked that flower, "You are from where?" The flower says, "I am from the hair of Mahadeva, Shiva." Brahma asked, "How long you are traveling?" The flower said, "For 4 Brahma's age I am traveling. Still I have not reached even Mahadeva's face." Brahma understands. He has only 1 age, means 1 kalpa. This flower is traveling for 4 kalpas. He understands he can't find, but he can't surrender. He catches that flower and says, "Why don't you come back and tell Shiva that I saw his head and I brought you from his head." Flower says, "I don't have a problem. After all, I am going down. I can do a small favor for you." Understand, if you try to do something wrong, even for doing good to others, you are in trouble. Even for doing good to others, if you try to do anything adharmic, anything which is not right, you are in trouble. This flower thought, after all, Brahma is asking me a small favor. Why can't I do? He said, "Okay." And Brahma comes down and says, "I found your head and this is the witness." Shiva knows where he kept the flower. That is the biggest problem. Again and again this intellect thinks it can hide from enlightened being. It can do whatever it wants and it can escape. It can get away with it. Understand? Enlightened being is a person who played with his intellect. So you can't play with him with your intellect. But we always miss the game, thinking that we can play with him with our intellect. He played with his intellect itself. And how can he be caught by your intellect? No. You are playing with intellect. He played with the intellect itself. Brahma tried to play with his intellect to Mahadeva. Mahadeva straight away knows the truth. And he just says only one thing. Because you try to play with your intellect, let you not be worshipped in the planet Earth. You are not worthy of worship. And he says to that flower, just because you told a lie, you have been a false witness, you will not be used anymore for my worship. And the moment both of them realized their mistake, the flower and the Brahma both fell at the feet of Shiva and cried, "Please forgive us." Surrendered. The moment they surrendered, Shiva forgives both of them and releases them from the curse. Shiva says, as an exemption, you will always be worshipped in my temple in the north side. In all Shiva temples, northern side, where the Tirtha, the holy water comes out, you will see Brahma's Murti standing there and continuously purifying himself by the Charanamrita, the holy water from Mahadeva's feet. The same way, the flower was also blessed. Mahadeva says, you will not be used for worship, but as an exemption, one day on Shivaratri day you will be used for my worship. This is the very day Mahadeva expressed himself
Yes. So we listen from Swamiji himself about the beautiful happening of Bhagavan Lingodbhava and how the Lingodbhava Murti, the manifestation of Paramashiva, happened just to remove the ego of Brahma and at the same time bestow the liberation to Brahma and Vishnu. Let us now look at the further segment about the Lingodbhava Murti. After Bhagavan Lingodbhava liberated Vishnu and Brahma, both Brahma and Vishnu requested Paramashiva to retain his form as that life shaft and to bless the entire universe. At their request, Paramashiva, in that very form of divine light, became the Arunachala, the glowing mountain in Tiruvannamalai. True to his promise, Paramashiva retained his form as the Arunachala mountain, assumed the form of the Shivalinga called Arunachaleshwara at the temple in Tiruvannamalai, and incarnating continuously, keeping the unbroken lineage of the enlightened beings in Tiruvannamalai till date. If you have all heard about the Tiruvannamalai, the entire Arunachala hill is worshipped as Paramashiva and draws thousands of people on every Paurnami who go as a circumambulation around the entire 14-kilometer path. As from time immemorial, the entire hill itself is Paramashiva. The Linga which exists in the Arunachaleshwara temple is the direct manifestation, the very being, the very Archavatara of Lingodbhava Murti. And as a living incarnation, time and again, Paramashiva incarnates in the Tiruvannamalai, bestowing grace and liberation to the entire mankind. The significance of the Lingodbhava story, the happening of Lingodbhava, as revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. As Swamiji shared, Vishnu represents the Mamakara, the identity that you carry within you and believe as you. Brahma represents the ahankara, the identity which you project to the outer world. Neither the ahankara nor the mamakara can realize the truth or give you the truth. Understanding each and every one of our life, we all carry certain understandings, ideologies about ourselves. We may feel that we are a good person, we are capable of doing so many things. You are good at studying, you're good at doing certain things. On the other side, you may also have negative cognitions about you, that whatever you touch will not perish, anything that you start is not happening. I am always weak. This is the mamakara, the idea that we all carry about ourselves. Ahankara, on the other hand, is how you respond, how you react, how you show yourself to the entire world, to the life around you. Both of this is not true. Please listen. Swami beautifully shares that mamakara, the ideas that you carry about you, is dependent on all the external situations outside you. For example, if you have a huge house, you have a few cars, then you consider yourself as a rich person. If you're able to make money, if you're rich, then you consider yourself as successful in career. If, for example, you're not able to create wealth in your life or money in your life, you consider yourself as a person who is incapable of creating wealth and incapable of having money in life. Same way, if you're not able to maintain beautiful and stable relationships, you feel that you're not able to create relationships in your life. So understand the very idea that we carry about ourselves, the mamakara that we carry about ourselves, the inner image that we carry about ourselves is completely dependent on the external happening. It is not that you have a clear understanding about who you are and from that you create the external situation. No. And naturally, the external situation can change at any point in time. So the mamakara that you carry about you is just hoax, is baseless, because the moment someone changes the ideology, the moment life externally changes, the very cognition that you carry about you completely changes. Same with ahankara. Based on how people respond back to you, you project yourself to people. A beautiful example, when we are small, many times you would have seen our parents, relatives, elder people, friends fight with each other. The dominant one, who probably at that point in time shouted, would have had more power and the other person would have listened to him. So we think, okay, maybe possibly that even if we shout and if we show ourselves as a powerful person, the other people will listen to us. So looking at the external situation of life, you try to project yourself as a more powerful person to get things done in your life. Same with anything else. How you project yourself is again dependent on the external situations and how people respond back to you. As long as our idea depends on the external situation, nothing is actually true. Nothing is actually real. And that is the reason Swamiji beautifully reveals that neither the mamakara nor the ahankara can make you realize the truth nor give you the truth. Because both of them are built on something that actually does not exist. It is not stable. And that is the reason Paramashiva, who is a cosmic consciousness, who is the embodiment of the existential energy, takes you beyond the ahankara and mamakara, because he neither has ahankara nor mamakara. And as long as you have ahankara or mamakara, you cannot reach Mahadeva. You will not even be able to understand or realize Mahadeva. That is the reason Paramashiva himself comes down to liberate us from the mamakara and ahankara that we carry, to show us that there is something beyond just the external happenings in our life, that there is something beyond the problems that we face in our life, that there is something much beyond than what we can imagine as life. It is Paramashiva. As Swamiji himself has come down as an embodiment of Paramashiva, gracing us all with this experience of the ultimate experience of Paramashivoham, that you are Paramashiva. It is only that he comes down and he lifts us from the space that we are in, breaks us out of the ahankara and mamakara that we carry. As long as we are there, stuck in the rut of ahankara and mamakara, we will never be able to experience, realize, or even able to walk towards the truth. It is only by the divine intervention that this is possible. Just like how we saw in the happening of Lingodbhava, it is only when Paramashiva intervenes that Brahma and Vishnu were liberated. Same goes in every one of our life. It is only when the intervention of the Guru happens in each and every one of our life. Guru, who is the incarnation of Paramashiva himself, our beloved Swamiji, only after he intervenes in every one of our life, we realize that there is something beyond the mamakara and hankara that we carry. The existential energy, the cosmic consciousness. There's a great significance in the story. Swamiji beautifully shares, you cannot attain Nityananda, the eternal bliss, with just the intellect or with money. Going upwards, like Brahma, is rajas, passion without value. We need to understand the statement very clearly. As long as we are stuck with the intellectual knowledge, you continuously delude yourself without having any experience. There are so many intellectuals who are there out in the world where they are dry people because there has been no experience that has been there. But these intellectuals at the same time are in the farther risk of not even being able to understand what they are missing, just like how Brahma did. Because the intellect is cunning enough to make you to justify itself that you not having an experience is the right thing to have. Please understand. Just like how Brahma, as he went up and up, he was not able to accept defeat. Same way, intellect cannot understand defeat, cannot accept defeat. So it brings more and more intellectual understandings to cover its defeat cunningly so that you cannot even understand that you are being cheated by your very intellect. And it is rajas. Intellectual people are those who are aggressive, not just externally, but internally, because they cannot accept that anything is higher than them. They are dry without experience, but constantly go on challenging everything and everyone around, who show the path of enlightenment, who give experience to people. On the other hand, going downwards like Vishnu is tamas, which is inertia or lethargy. You cannot attain enlightenment with these two attributes. Vishnu represents wealth. In every one of our life, we can see this. If we listen to the life of so many rich people, even in the current century, the current present decade, so many people who have become wealthy. All of them at one point in time, who ran behind wealth, money, and richness, success, career, after earning a lot of wealth and money in their life, feel disappointed, feel cheated, because they felt what pleasure or what happiness, what content, what fulfillment they thought they would receive by creating wealth in their life would have not been received. It would have been a rude shock. But at least wealth, after creating at one point in time, you face a dire situation in your life where you feel it is still empty. I got everything that I wanted. I got the car, I got the house, I had the entire bank balance that I wanted, but I still feel empty. And that will push you towards finding the true seeking. That is what happened with Vishnu. At one point in time, he realized, no, I just cannot achieve ultimate in this path. And he accepted defeat and came back. Because with wealth, you cannot cheat yourself, because you put so much of your time, energy, life into something. And at the end of it, when you feel cheated, you will not be able to justify it to yourself. And naturally, that will push you towards seeking. But intellects are not that way. Because they cannot accept defeat, they enter into a space where they destroy themselves. But understand, ultimately, both of this, neither the intellect nor the wealth can bring you and make you experience the completion or the cosmic experience of who you really are. And that is when Paramashiva comes down as the Guru.
Understand it is redundant to waste your energy running behind the intellect and comfort. Whether intellect is great or wealth is greater, neither of these can lead to the ultimate truth or the ultimate bliss. Only when you base your life on the higher cognition to experience Paramashiva, that is when you will see that you experience the true fulfillment. You will have the intelligence, you will have knowledge, you will have the wealth, and you will have Paramashiva. That is what Paramashiva demonstrated by liberating, not just that he showed them what they are deluded in, but liberated them and gave them the experience of Shivoham, gave them the experience of the ultimate consciousness, the cosmic consciousness. It is only when we start moving towards the seeking, and only when we start searching for a guru in our life, start looking for a guru in our life, that is the only time that you are in the right path to experience what real life is. Till then, you are only deluded. Intellect and comfort, both of them can only be the utility in life. It is needed for a certain level, but that is not life itself. If life itself is dependent on that, you are bound to experience suffering in your life. Life is something that has to be intensely lived, loved, experienced, beyond logic and beyond currency. As long as you're stuck with logic and currency, you can never experience the true taste and true fulfillment of life. Let us now understand the world today versus Kailasa today. Now that all of us saw how in our every life there are these three components of creation, which is knowledge, sustenance, which is wealth, and liberation, which is the ultimate experience of the Guru happening in your life. We saw it in our life. And we saw how by Bhagavan Paramashiva manifesting himself as Lingodbhava, representing this very principle, gave this very experience to Brahma and Vishnu. We are now in this segment going to be looking at how in the current day, the modern society, modern humanity, this is being mapped, and how Swamiji, through the revival of Sri Kailasa, which is the ancient enlightened Hindu civilization and nation, is reviving and providing the entire world this signs of liberation, liberating entire humanity to experience the ultimate consciousness. Please come to the space of listening as we look at this. The current world, we all know about the COVID pandemic, that the entire world is suffering with. The COVID not only took a huge toll on the physical health, but a much higher toll on the mental health of people. If there are 1,000 people who lost their life due to the physical effects of COVID, there are at least a few thousand people who are mentally affected by it. Especially given the current situation, how the COVID is spreading very violently across the entire world, where many parts of the world are facing the second and the third surge, the third wave of the COVID. Literally, the COVID has come back with much potential, higher potential to destruction. Kailasa is offering the spiritual solution. Through Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Consciousness Studies and practices over the past 27 years have been working towards empowering and enlightening adults with the greater science of Hinduism. Today, with the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, our beloved Swamiji, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, Kailasa has over 10,000 de facto spiritual embassies aimed at bringing spiritual healing, empowerment, and enlightenment for the benefit of the entire mankind. The coronavirus pandemic brought a huge amount of shutdown to the K-12 schools across 191 countries. Starting from the 2020, over 1.6 billion children have been affected and have been broken down mentally, not being able to have the right knowledge, the right understanding to handle this situation of life. On the other hand, the Nityananda Hindu University, which is the world's largest Hindu library, Hindu university, as per the number of faculties, number of students, number of courses, and number inspired by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, with over 20 million plus enrollments, 7,000 plus courses with extended campuses in over 150 countries, is continuously providing the various programs such as the Paramashivoham Level 2, the daily Nitya Satsangs, the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, the Parashakti Arulvak, where Swamiji is continuously making himself available to the entire humanity during this COVID pandemic, literally placing every one of us in a beautiful bubble that protects us from the COVID pandemic in all across levels of mental, physical, psychological. At the same time, the Nityananda Hindu Library is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading, and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism continuously so that this greater science of Hinduism can be revived, can be protected, and can be shared for the entire benefit of the humanity. Surge in the suicide rate due to the COVID pandemic. As we've been looking at how it has been mentally affecting, please understand the next immediate death after the COVID has been the surge in the suicide rates. And this is because we are mentally not able to handle the situation. When we listen or when we look at the situation, especially when we read the news, without the right understandings, the COVID affects us at a very powerful way. When we get to know that some of our near and dear ones, our relatives, our colleagues, friends have lost their life or have been admitted in the ICU or are on ventilator and oxygen support, the beds are not available, oxygen is lacking. When we listen to these kind of situations, an immense fear and insecurity is created in every one of us, which boils us down to the very deep core, putting us down mentally, putting us into the insecurity and fear as to what will happen if it happens. Kailasa, having taken the spiritual solution, giving the spiritual solution by taking the responsibility to spiritually heal the world during the pandemic. As we saw, various courses are offered to heal mentally. At the same time, Kailasa's Department of Religion and Worship, in collaboration with the Department of Human Services, have been offering Maheshwara Puja twice a month for the departed souls who have passed away due to COVID, natural calamities, unnatural calamities, devastations for the year 2020 till date. Through the Maheshwara Puja, the departed souls are offered completion by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Liberation is granted through the sacred rituals offered at the feet of the 1008th living incarnation of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam. Let us now look at the scientific Hinduism, which describes about how the happening of Bhagavan Lingodbhava is documented scientifically. Our beloved Swamiji is not only working towards reviving this science, but also establishing it with as much as Sakshi Pramana and Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the empirical evidence with modern day research and scientific experimentation. For this segment, we'll be joined by Sri Nitya Mangalananda Maharaj, who will be giving us and sharing deeper insights into this. I request every one of you to please stay tuned to understand and witness this beautiful and exciting revelations of the scientific Hinduism as revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Yes, thank you, Sundaresh Maharaj. So this we're entering the next segment of today's program, which is scientific Hindu, learning about how everything which we are sharing here, which is mentioned in the Vedas and in the Agamas, are all backed not only by the scriptural references from Hinduism and from the Vedic tradition, but also backed by the modern day science as well. Whatever you see appearing from something which you can't understand is a Big Bang. Big Bang means initiation. It is allowing Swamiji to enter into you, you experiencing a new you. At some day, suddenly you will feel even the trace of your old identity is not there in you anymore. A Big Bang is something of which happens when you receive the initiation from the avatar. It is a click which happens to you when you listen to satsang. It is a powerful cognition which you remember and based off of which power manifestation happens. When something explodes inside of you, when the positive expansion, conscious expansion happens inside of you, that is what is the Big Bang. Every spiritual click, every powerful cognition, every time you are manifesting powers, you are in the oneness, Swamiji. In all of those moments, the Big Bang is happening inside of you. The biggest Big Bang which we are going to be having is the initiation and the darshan of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as Lingodbhava, where he is be manifesting as the Jyotishtamba and blessing all of us, removing the ego from all of us as he did for Lord Brahma so many eons ago. Something which is responsible for the life is what is called the weave hole, otherwise known as Vishnu. It can either overflow nor can it become dry. That is why Vishnu is always described on the ocean of milk, the Milky Ocean. The Milky Ocean is nothing but the Milky Way of the cosmos. It can neither overflow nor can it become dry. Understand, Shiva is always shown above the hill because during the destruction, he has to be above for the creation to happen again. Vishnu is always shown on the Milky Ocean because the Milky Ocean needs to be kept in samana, in balance. Only then life can go on. It can neither overflow nor can become dry. Life is the gap which happens between the Big Bang and the black hole. Mahavishnu is described as the sustainer, as a protector, maintenance of the cosmos. Life happens between the gap of Brahma, the creation, and destruction, rejuvenation, which is Paramashiva. Paramashiva is always described to be sitting on top of Mount Kailasa, because when the destruction happens, he needs to be on top for rejuvenation to take place. He has to be above for creation to restart itself. But it is different in the case of the sustenance, in the case of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is always described and illustrated to be shown on the Milky Ocean. It is because he is on the Milky Ocean, the samana, the balance is kept in place. And it is only when balance is there, life can go on. It neither overflows nor does it become dry. It is perfect and attuned to itself. Life happens in the gap between the Big Bang and the black. The whole message of Sri Krishna, the happening called Krishna, is only one word: celebration. From the Big Bang to the black hole, if you want to increase the time, celebration is the way. In everything, celebration is the dharma of longevity. If you understand the Big Bang and black hole in the microcosm, you'll understand the Big Bang and the black hole in the macrocosm. If you understand how mass is reduced to memory when it moves into time, You'll understand how your soul takes the next birth. Your soul loses its length, breadth, and depth, but it does not lose memory. It carries the memory and moves into time and assumes the next body. Very beautiful concept of how the microcosm reflects in the macrocosm. In the macrocosm is nothing but a miniature reflection in the microcosm. If you understand how when we leave the body, the mass is reduced. The mass does not exist anymore. And it is a memory of all the actions, all the biomemories and muscle memories. The memory moves through time. It is the same way how the soul takes birth. The soul also loses its length, breadth, and depth, but it does not lose memory. It is that memory which it carries and moves into time and assumes the next body. Here we have the Shastra Pramana, which is Paramashiva's promise to humanity. In here, the Shastra Pramana, we have the scriptural reference for Paramashiva's threefold promise to humanity. The great Hindu scripture, Skanda Purana, the section named the Arunachala Mahatmya, Paramashiva gives the promise to be eternally available in this threefold form in Tiruvannamalai, also called as Arunachala. Paramashiva says, even though I have risen as the form of fire in the holy place of Arunachala, hiding that, I appear and shine as the peaceful mountain in order to protect the whole world through my grace. I also abide in the mountain in the form of a Siddha as Arunagiriyu. Within me, in the form of this mountain, there is the wonderful cave where all sorts of prosperity exists and shines forever. Know this. So this Mahatmya, this reference in Itihasa, is taken from the Skanda Purana. And within the Skanda Purana, there is a section called Arunachala Mahatmya. It is in this section, after the whole Leela of Paramashiva, cutting off the ignorance and ego of Brahma and blessing Mahavishnu for his integrity, both of them ask and request Paramashiva to be present in Tiruvannamalai forever and grace the whole world. Bless the whole world with the teachings, with the blessings, with the powerful cognitions, which they themselves had the opportunity and had the blessing to be graced with. And so Paramashiva promises to them that even though he has risen as the Jyotistambha, as the form of the fire in Arunachala, he will also appear as the Arunachala mountain and protect the whole world. Not only that, but he will also be in the form, the physical human form of a Siddha, as Arunagiriyu. Not only that, Paramashiva also promises to be available to the whole world through the Shivalinga, Arunachaleshwara. Here, you can see the photo of Jyotistambha becoming the sacred hill of Arunachala in Tiruvannamalai. Next photo, we have the Linga in the Annamalaya temple, Arunachaleshwara Linga. And we also have the living incarnation of Paramashiva, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashiva. And it is through these three, Paramashiva promises in the Arunachala Mahatmyam that he will always be available to the world and grace the whole world through these three, through the sacred hill of Arunachala, as through the Linga in the Annamalaya temple, and as the living incarnation of Paramashiva. Paramashiva lineage represents the tradition of the Gurus, the enlightened masters in Tiruvannamalai, also called Arunachala, starting from Paramashiva himself. The lineage of Paramashiva prevails to fulfill Paramashiva's promise to humanity to be an eternal guiding force through an unbroken lineage of living Gurus hailing from Tiruvannamalai to sustain the enlightenment ecosystem. One of the three promises which Paramashiva makes is the promise to be available as the living stream of enlightened masters, the Arunachala lineage. Starting with himself, the lineage of Paramashiva prevails to fulfill Paramashiva's promise to humanity to be the eternal guiding force as the unbroken lineage of living gurus, starting with Paramashiva himself and manifesting through various people in various parts of time as the continuous stream to maintain the enlightenment ecosystem. The happening of the avatar, the Nijavatara, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashiva. During the auspicious time of the constellation Chitra, and all the constellations of the stars, the planets, and moons, all of them assumed their most energetic and blissful aspects for the auspicious occasion. And on the 9th of the 2nd of January 1978, Paramashiva lands within the atmosphere, and at that time, which was the Paramashobhana, filled with the ultimate auspiciousness in all aspects. All the directions became clear and propitious. The sky became illuminated with innumerable clusters of stars shining unobscured. The earth with its towns, villages, settlements of rice farmers and mines revelled in auspicious festivities. The waters of the river became crystal clear. The lakes were blooming with lotuses. The rows of forest trees laden with bunches of flowers were resounded with swarms of sweetly humming bees and the cooing of birds. The whole cosmos literally celebrated the descent of Paramashiva happening on this planet Earth. It was an auspicious moment, a time in history we'll always remember, as when Paramashiva came down to revive Hinduism, to create the Kailasa nation, and to be the last living lamp of Hinduism. At that time, Kinnaras and Gandharvas burst forth singing. Siddhas and Chandaras sang their prayers. Ladies of the Vidyadhara clan danced along with celestial damsels. Overwhelmed with joy, the gods and sages showered flowers, following the roaring of the seas. Clouds gave forth a low rumbling noise. The whole cosmos literally came down for nature, the whole existence celebrated the happening of Paramashiva descending on the planet Earth. After his advent, as the body of the avatar would be delicately maturing to sustain the supreme consciousness within it, the Bhairavas who guard Lord Vishwanatha and Kashi, the Vishwanatha temple in Varanasi, India, Asitanga Bhairava, Ruru Bhairava, Chanda Bhairava, Krodha Bhairava, Unmata Bhairava, Kapala Bhairava, Bhishana Bhairava, Samhara Bhairava, Swarnakarshana Bhairava, Akasha Bhairava, and Mahakala Bhairava himself. All of them manifested and came down along with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to protect and be with Paramashiva invisibly in order to protect the incarnation from any accidental harm or demonic forces who might seek to vanquish his body while he was still in the form of a child. Not only did Paramashiva come down, but as Swamiji says again and again in Satsang, when divine being, the higher energies land on this planet, they do not come alone. They come with their Angas, Uttarangas, and the Digbalakas. When Shiva comes down, Devi also comes down. Ganesha comes down, Durga comes down. The whole Kailasa comes down to celebrate the existence of Paramashiva. And so, in this beautiful scene, not only has Paramashiva landed in the body, but along with him, the 8 Bhairavas who got the Vishwanatha temple in Varanasi, Asitanga Bhairava, Ruru Bhairava, Chanda Bhairava, Krodha Bhairava, Unmata Bhairava, Kapala Bhairava, Bhishana Bhairava, and Samhara Bhairava, Swarnakarshana Bhairava, Akasha Bhairava, and Mahakala Bhairava. all of them came down to protect Paramashiva from any accidental harm or demonic forces while he was still in the child's body and before his system was matured enough to handle the superconscious energy. As Paramashiva began his descent on the planet Earth, his forehead was white and smeared with sacred ash. His hair was mated into thick and lengthy jalas. With a white smile on his lips, he blessed the sweet couple in front of him, whom we now know to be the parents, Purvashram parents of the Supreme Concept of Hinduism. The resplendent face of the newly born avatar was round in shape. His nose and ears were characteristically large, and his eyes unveiled the ferocious intensity of Paramashiva himself. On the lower back of the Supreme Concept of Hinduism appeared an enchanting large dark skin patch that spanned the entire right side, a birthmark that will later reveal its meaning upon the donation of the land of Adi Kailasa Sarvangapeetham in Bengaluru, South India, 25 years into the future, to the mark of the predetermined land, which was the very shape of the birthmark. The endearing infant-sized index finger and thumb of the Supreme Concept of Hinduism on both hands were posed in tranquility in the Chin Mudra, even as he first appeared in the infant form. All of his fingers and toes were each perfectly sized, and a small black-colored mole on his left hand ring finger appeared. Above all, the divine incarnation radiated the Tapta Chamikara Prabham, which is the effulgence of the heated gold. Beautifully, the Supreme Consciousness Paramashiva embodied himself in Swamiji as a beautiful infant, endearing and beautifully symmetric, where even when he was born, his hands were in the posture of the Chin Mudra, and all of his fingers and toes were each perfectly sized, with a small black-colored mole on the left hand ring finger. Above all, the divine incarnation radiated the shining like he was heated gold, melted heated gold. He is the light of Jnana. He is Adi Shiva, the Shiva himself who took birth as Nityananda. He travels through all the worlds without stopping. His energy permeates all the worlds. He is the Lord who protects the whole world. The Paramashiva, Parameshwara, who protects the world from the flares of the Panchabhutas. The Supreme Concept of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhana, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashiva. The last lamp of Hinduism, Paramashiva coming down to bring back Hinduism to its original glory. Now is a time more than ever where Hinduism is not needed just for the sake of Hindus, but it is needed for the whole world. There's no secret how the world is suffering from all and every aspect of society, be it in health, be it in professional lives of everyone, be it in corporate struggles, in the environmental struggles. In each and every field you take, the world is suffering. And it is only because of this suffering, Paramashiva decided to come down and help the world, revive Hinduism, for the sake of solving all the problems which the current modern era is facing. As the light of Jnana, he is the last lamp of Hinduism, and it is through the reviving of the Kailasa nation, Supreme Concept of Hinduism is bringing back and creating a seed bank where Hinduism will be kept there for the whole world to go and recreate Hinduism, recreate Sanatana Hindu Dharma in their places. He is the Adi Shiva, the Shiva himself who took birth as Nityananda. He travels to all the worlds without stopping. His energy permeates all the worlds. He is the Lord who protects the world. The Parameshwara protects the world from all the flares of the Panchbhutas. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasamidana, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramahansa. Before we enter into the next segment of today's program, and then we'll be entering into the different and various aspects of how we can offer being to Paramashiva.
Elaborately explain the whole science of making the cosmic beings manifest in Archavatara, deities, and Nijavatara, living incarnations, both. During the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, literally those cosmic beings manifest through this body. Just like how they manifest in Archavatara, deity, they manifest in Nijavatara, Pratyakshavatara, and give you all the boons you ask, bless you. You see, each God is an independent intelligence to lead you to enlightenment. Each God is a bridge for you to achieve the Shivatva, the ultimate Shiva consciousness. Krishna is the bridge for you to achieve the Krishna consciousness. But Shiva consciousness, Krishna consciousness, all consciousness is one and the same. Ultimate consciousness only. So that energy itself completely expresses.
Just like Radhika, when I see my own sweetness